This is the underhood area of a 1970 Ford Mach 1 Mustang, a real Mach 1 fastback. It is a M-code car. It's a 4-barrel car from the factory. It has a few little amenities added to it. Someone's added an engine dress-up kit to it, big oval air cleaner on it, and a set of finned aluminum Ford Racing valve pan covers on it that all match, you know, with the wrinkled black and the brushed aluminum fins on it. Really adds a lot of pop to the vehicle. It does have an aftermarket carburetor on it. It has a Summit carb on it, which I happen to like those things. They're really neat. They incorporate all the internals of a Holly, but they're not stacked sideways like a Holly is, where you end up with all the leaks and problems with it. They're stacked horizontally like a Carter AFB, which never gives anyone any problems. Edelbrock carburetor. And this is kind of a crossbreed between the two of them, but it's a great carburetor. It functions really well. We've had a few of these on vehicles, and I really like the way those things work. They're a really upgraded carburetor from just about anything else out in the market. The car has power steering, does have power disc brakes on it, dual stage master cylinder in the front, new alternator, new belts, standard cast iron intake manifold. It has, can't see here, cast iron exhaust manifolds yet, the original equipment cast iron manifolds, and there's no leaks evident whatsoever, at least not at this point. The top of the motor, valve pan covers, intake manifold, water pump, front of the engine area at all. Everything appears to be nice and sound yet. New battery, which Donnie just put in here, just installed it. New starter solenoid also. I can see 2 new shock absorbers sticking up through the shock tires there also. Radiator appears to have been out and completely reconditioned on this vehicle also. It still houses its 2 original horns in the front. Inner fender panels are nice and solid. There's no deterioration whatsoever with them. The original equipment distributor is still on the vehicle. It does not have an HEI system on it. It does have the original, they are high silicone plug wires on it though. They do have that. It still has its original coil. This is a great looking vehicle under the hood. It has a lot of originality under here. The underhood area itself, there's no deterioration whatsoever, no scaliness or no rust or anything. The same thing with the front apron area and everything on the radiator core support. Nice new rubber seal on the front of it also. And on the back, they even incorporated one on the backer for us. Usually those are missing, and this one has it. So the underhood area of this car is really, really exemplary. These motors were making right around 300 horsepower, maybe just a click more with this carburetor on it instead of the quadrajet that it came with. It was a great running engine for Ford. It was a 4-barrel 351 and a really overachiever for them. And this vehicle is correct with that engine in this vehicle. So we do have a Marty report for it, which Devin's going to show you during this video presentation at one point or another. But at this point, we're just talking about the engine. So there it is. It's a fantastic running car. It is a correct M-code 351 Ford Mustang 1970 Mach 1. Hi, you're at Hanksters in Daytona Beach, Florida, and we finally got another one. Every time we get one of these in a 69 or a 70, gone. So we finally just got another one. Kevin found this one for us, and we're going to present it to you today. So this is our 1970 Ford Mach 1 M-code with the Marty report Mustang Mach 1. I believe the color is called ivy green, deep ivy green, and the finish is just exemplary. It is not a factory style finish. This is very, very show quality, the finish on this vehicle. It's a deep, deep green, almost black. Fitment of the hood is very nice on it. The hood pins, the way they came from Ford at that era, are correct for the year. So is the hood scoop on it. It is not a shaker hood. Taped on semi-flat black or flat black striping, 351 designation on it. The correct grill still intact in the front of these. Usually these things are missing. They fall out through the years or stones hit them or whatever. 1/8 of an inch the whole way back to the windscreen, to the collar area that you can see here. Same on this side, just as nice a fitment as you'd ever hope to find. A little bit of a misfit here. I don't understand why, because you really can't put the hood back much more. I guess you got to blame that one on Ford, because that's about as good as that's going to get. There's not too much we can do about it. But the trim itself is just absolutely flawless. Go the whole way around it here. Yeah, there's no chips or dings or marks whatsoever in this grille. No broken pieces out of the front. Parking lights nice and crystal clear the way they should be. The entire grille enclosure is just as it was when it was new. Semi-flat black, just the way it should be. Bumper fitment. That baby is right on the money. That thing cannot fit any better than it does. Front valance, there's no marks or pulls or anything whatsoever in it. Again, your turn signal indicators down below, just as nice as you'd hope to find them. There's nothing out of line on the front of this. It's just as nice and dramatic a front end as you could hope to find on a Mach 1. And again, 351 designation with correct striping, the correct color, deep ivy green, and it's just a fantastic car. I don't see a single flaw in the paint anywhere on this vehicle. It's absolutely a show quality paint job. We'll go down the side of it now for you. Okay, driver's side of our Mach 1, 1970. Side marker lamp, you can see nice flush fitment. The trim around it, absolutely no patina whatsoever, none. Nice crystal clear shiny lens on it. Fender lips are rolled up in too, just the way they should be on a Mach 1. And all tin. Look at the fitment. Trim around the front window. Absolutely nothing on this side, nothing. Correct wiper arms and correct blades for this guy too. That's the way they would have come in 1970. There's no deterioration on the dashboard itself. The pad transitions the whole way to the base of the windshield, so it's nice and clean and clear the whole way across. You can't get a nicer dashboard on top than that one. You got two individual pods on the Mustang the way they had them designed. Okay, fitment of the fender to the door. Look at this, it's unbelievable. This is all like grating down below here, and it's like a semi-flat black material. Dual sport mirrors on it, you can see that. The roof is like the hood and the rest of this car. It's just wet glass. There's not an imperfection, not a deviation, absolutely nothing. It's just as smooth and flawless a finish as you could hope to ever find. You know what, I forgot to mention, it does have a tinted windshield in it too. Sunshade fade on top here, and it does have tinted glass in the nose of it here. Drip rail molding. No marks whatsoever. Really, really nice. Look at the way the windows fit front to back. Look at that. Can't get any better than that, guys. That's right on. Nice resilient rubber seals yet. White whiskers stuck down in there the way they should be. New door handles they have to be, because there's not a single flaw in them anywhere. Look at the door fitment. Look at this. Amazing. Look at the trim fitment on the side of this thing. Looks like tinted glass on the side and the back too. I don't want to call it for sure, but it appears to be tinted glass front and back. It has the original fender lips in it. No one's made any attempt to go ahead and grind anything off. It even has the original tabs still on them yet. How about that? Side marker lamp in the back, same as it was in the front, nice and clean and clear, and no patina whatsoever on the trim around it. The side of this car is just exemplary. There's not a single deviation. We haven't found a single stone chip or mark or dent or anything. I couldn't feel anything at all on this vehicle. Absolutely nothing. It has the correct style Kelsey Hayes type wheel on it for 1970. They had trim rings at that point. And they're 14-inch. BFG tires on it, of course. That's just everyone's choice. That or Cooper Cobras, one of the two. And the wheels are correct for the car. It's a good-looking car. Has a lot of originality to it. A little dress-up kit on the motor. That certainly doesn't hurt the aesthetics of this thing at all. Fantastic, fantastic car so far. Not a single mark yet. Not a single chip. Let's go out back, see if we can find something there. Okay, tail section of our Mach 1. Again, I forgot to mention, you can see, though, there's not a single mark or chip or dent or anything in this trim anywhere, the whole way around it. Hat shelf, hat rack in the back is spot on. It can't be any nicer than it is. There's no deterioration whatsoever in it, absolutely none. Deck lid fitment, look. I don't know how you could get any nicer than that. It's just spot on. It can't get any nicer. Nice flat black stripe across the back, Mach 1 designation. This stripe matches the stripe on the hood and the molding down below the doors and the quarters rocker panels. Flat black braiding across the back, just the way it should be. Trim around your tail light assemblies, no patina whatsoever, absolutely none. Nice clear lenses in them. Yeah, both sides are just equally as nice. They're just absolutely as spot on as you can get. Ford quick release gas cap, of course. Bumper fitment. And that guy's right on the money too. And there's no scuffs or marks or anything on the bumper itself from someone putting their feet up against it or scuffing it through the years. Packages out the back, who knows what they would have done through the years. And no dinghies whatsoever. Correct style exhaust for 1970 coming out the back. Backup lights, the lens enclosures are chrome, and the chrome usually is deteriorated. These are not. These are absolutely as they were when they were new. So the bumper or the chrome tips coming out the back are the correct style, the oval cut slash cut. The chrome on the back of this car is just as nice as it was on the front. There's not a single thing we found so far. Okay, this is a Marty report that we have that came with the vehicle. So Devin's going to take a close-up of this so you'll be able to see it on our website. You see it's 1970, built at Metuchen, Mustang, two-door sport roof, 351 4V M code engine, sequential number, serial number, September of 1969. Deep ivy green, dark ivy green, Mustang two-door sport roof, black vinyl knitted bucket seats, 3 1/4 axle ratio, select shift automatic transmission, black hood stripe kit, E70 14 belted sidewall tires, power front disc brakes, power steering, and AM radio. And there's a copy of the tag that's in the door also, so you have a complete history of what this car was produced as it left the factory new in 1970 from Ford Motor Company. And again, Devin's going to show you a close-up of this so that you could examine the Marty report yourself. But this is a real M code 351 4-barrel, fantastic 1970 Mach 1 Mustang. Take a look at this guy. Okay, our last side, passenger side. Again, the side marker light, no deterioration whatsoever. Again, I still have not felt a dent or a deviation in this metal at all. Absolutely none. Tin. Sail panel just as like the other side, and the roof, looking at it this direction, it's absolutely flawless. There's not one deviation. There's not one little tiny imperfection in it whatsoever. Forgot to mention, this is chrome. This is stainless. This is chrome. These are usually deteriorated all to hell. It is not. This is just as it was when it left the factory, new in 1970. And the other side was the same way. I meant to point it out, but I didn't. But this is usually deteriorated somewhat. This is not. It's spot on. And look at this again. You believe this? This is insane. That is as nice as it could possibly get. Door handles, same way. Drip rail, nothing. Window fitment, same way as it was on the other side. Nice tight fitment the whole way across. Wife's whiskers. Door handle, no patina. Look. Our second mirror, correct style Ford antenna with the rectangular base on it. Trim around the front window. These are rolled up just the way they should be. Side marker lamp, same as the other three. Just watch it again. We went over the entire vehicle. This one I could not find a single stone chip or a deviation or a mark in the paint or the finish or the panels themselves. No deviations, no dents, marks that you can't see, but you can feel whenever you run your hands over them. I could not feel a single deviation in this vehicle. 14-inch road wheels, Magnum wheels as Ford would call them. Mach 1 designation. It's a correct Mach 1. We have a Marty report, which we're going to show you here in just a minute. And this car is available at Hankster's in Daytona Beach, Florida. And it's just one of a zillion that we got down here. Well, a zillion's actually about 80, but going to be about 72 here real quick, though, because there's 8 of them ready to ship. It's a car that you really need to take a look at. 69 and 70 Mach 1s are like impossible to find. And every time we have one, its life expectancy is like in days. Very, very difficult car to find, especially in this condition with this documentation and with this engine. An M-Code motor is a very desirable piece. Not quite as much as a 428 Cobra Jet, but it's not 80 grand either. So this car is going to be nominally priced for $351 in this condition. It's a very, very difficult car to find. But we got one here at Hankster's in Daytona Beach, Florida. So come down and take a look at it. But if you can't, that's why you got to look at these videos and the 100 pictures that Devin's going to show you. So it's here. Take a look at it. Okay, this is the interior of our only 1970 Ford Mach 1 M-Code Mustang. Just an exemplary car, too. It's just a fantastic piece of equipment. It has the original style headliner in it. I think it is the original headliner. Nice and tight as a drum yet. The sun visors don't have any deteriorations. They're still nicely padded. There's no stitching coming loose whatsoever. No milkiness in the day-night rear view mirror that's on it. Again, we said the dash, there's no deviations in it whatsoever, or cracks or anything in it. It's a Mach 1, so it does have the lumber on the doors and on the dashboard on both enclosures here. There's a clock in that enclosure there, and a quadrant of gauges plus a speedometer in this enclosure. And it does have wood grain around both of those, plus a wood grain on the door. You can see both kick panel lights are lighting, and the lights in, well, one's lighting. That one's lighting for the rear. That one is not. Let's see here. Lumber on the dash or the console, just as nice as you'd want to find. Chrome around the gear selector, nice and bright and shiny yet. Has an AM Philco radio in it. I think Ford owned Philco at that point in time. Maybe they still do. I don't know. But it is a Philco radio that Ford used at that era. It has the correct wood grain style steering wheel with rim blow steering wheel. You squeeze the rubber inside part and the horn blows. The 3 spokes on the steering wheel itself with the Mustang designation in the center, still nice and resilient, not cracked up at all. The original door panels are just as nice and resilient as the rest of them. Remote mirror on this side. Of course, nobody put them on the right side. All your door actuators, soft trim on the door, carpeting along the bottom, everything just as nice and fresh as you could ever hope to find. The back panels are not deteriorated in any way, absolutely none. Seat belts in the rear seat, seat belts, shoulder belts in the front, so you have a full complement of safety equipment for that era anyway in this vehicle. Glove box in the dash, glove box on the console. It has, feels like loop pile carpeting in it that would have been correct for the year. Inside the door jambs just as nice and clean as you'd ever hope to find. Your door sills with the Ford designation are replaced. They're brand spanking new and shiny as they were the day they left the factory. There's no There's no splits on the steering wheel either. It's unusual. Most of these plastic wheels, especially the Ford wooden wheels and Mopar wheels too, are usually cracked some place or another, usually right here or here and here. This one is not. This one has no cracks whatsoever on it. It still houses a lot of its original style wood grain finish to it. Nice interior in this car. I can't imagine you could find one any nicer. It does have a console, buckets. We're going to show you the Marty report here shortly. Devin's going to get you some pictures of it. It's just the car presents itself as a new 1970 Mustang Mach 1 M-Code car. And a great color too. Everyone likes this deep ivy green. It's so deep a green that it's almost black. If you see it out in sunlight, it's green. If you see it in the building like we're doing it here, it's almost black. So take a look at it. It's here at Hanksters in Daytona Beach, Florida. And we encourage you to come down, take a look at it. But if you can't, that's why Devin's putting all these photos up for you so that you can examine them and see the car in its entirety. Okay, we're on our only one we have, 1970 Mach 1 M-Code 4-barrel 351 Mustang. This one's deep ivy green, almost a black color. It's really neat, black interior in it. Rim blow steering wheel. That works, you can hear it. Driver's side mirror that needs tightened. The alternator is functioning as it should. It's charging as it should. Speedometer, I'm sure, is going to work. The fuel gauge shows about 1/4 of a tank, which is about normal for us. Temperature is going to be just coming up. Oil pressure is holding good. It's up high. Let's see. Wipers. Where are our wipers? These are our wipers. Let's try that. Wipers just beating themselves to death out there. Okay. Turn signals. Turn signal left. You can see it functioning as it should. Turn signal right. Functioning as it should. You believe this? The clock's working. Unbelievable. Radio. Let's try a Philco radio here. Ford Philco radio. Yeah, I didn't think there'd be much of a chance of a radio working through all these years. Okay. We don't care about radios and we don't care about clocks. If they work, they work. If they don't, they don't. Let's go for a ride here and see how this guy works. Nice running car. It's the first I've got a chance to drive this guy, but you can see it goes down the road straight as an arrow. Look, no hands on the wheel. Still going. Let's try it with no hands, brakes. Good. Pulled off a little bit to the right, but that was me because I had it angled that way. But it stops right as it can be. Nice tight running car. The steering's real positive. It's going to start to rain here in a second, so we're going to get in. The speedometer is functioning as it should also. The speedometer is just working at 35 mile an hour down here, but it's working away just the way it should. Nice tight car. There's no rattles or shakes or squeaks or shimmies, anything in it. It's just a nice, tight, stiff running car. The suspension's nice and taut in it. Traffic all over the place here. Car pulls just like it should. 300 horse, 351. Nice running car. It shifts nice and firm. Again, you know, look, I mean, the steering is very precise in it. There's no shakes, rattles, shimmies, nothing. I usually try to get this thing up a little bit higher in speed, but we have so much traffic today that I just can't do that. It's just not possible. But it's a nice, tight car. The seating is nice in it. Seats are well padded yet. There's no deterioration in their spring, buoyancy, padding, whatever. This is a nice car. Somebody that was in the market for a Mustang 6970, this is a car that they should seriously consider because we just did the undercarriage. Devin and I just went around the whole vehicle, and really I can't find a single thing wrong with this. Absolutely nada. This is as nice as a vehicle as you could ever hope to find. And you can see how it runs. I mean, the car just runs and pulls and shifts just the way it's supposed to. It drives well. The brakes work really well. It's a nice car. Take a look at it. Let's hear it, Hangsters. It's the only one we have at this point. Only one. This is the underside of a 70 Mach 1 M code Mustang. The only one that we have. Every time we have one, it goes. This thing is as new as you could ever hope to find one. There's new bushings on the ends on the sway bar, heavy-duty sway bar in the front. New ball joints, top and bottom. The shocks are new, they've been replaced on this vehicle. Disc brakes in the front, nice fat rotors. The original caliper is still intact on it. You can see the engine has been out and refreshing, and the motor has no leaks whatsoever. There's none on the rear main, there's none up on the front seal. There's certainly none on the bell housing area. It is an automatic tranny also. And none on the tail shaft, the speedometer, output. Absolutely no leaks whatsoever on this engine. None. Zero. Power steering, there's no leaks whatsoever on it either. The frames in the front, our subframes in the front, there's no jack marks at all on them. And there's one little one here on this transitional piece that goes over. Someone must have put a jack stand on there through the years, and maybe another one right here. Other than that, the skirts, the aprons coming down in the front wheel wells, there's no marks whatsoever on it. The torque boxes don't have any distortion whatsoever on them. So they still have the original pinch welds still evident on them. The motor has the standard cast iron exhaust manifolds that came with it, and a 2 1/8 inch pipe with the X on it. Crossover pipe gives you a little more mid-range and top-end horsepower. The steering box appears to have been freshened up. It looks like it has a newer Fitment arm on it. The floor pans in this thing, they're absolutely like new. I can't tell if they're original or if they've been replaced through the years, but at any rate, they don't require any attention whatsoever. Original parking brake assembly still hooked up and functional. Let's see. Brake lines have been replaced. There's new brake lines on it and new fuel line also. I think I said the parking brake assembly is still hooked up and functional also. The I can't tell if these floor pans, I'm really looking here, I can't tell if they've been replaced or if they're original. It's hard to see looking up at them here. I can't really tell. It looks like they blend in exactly the way they should. At any rate, they don't need any attention. The floor pans in this thing are as new condition. They're absolutely spot on. Driveshaft has newer U-joint in the front and in the rear, 9-inch Ford rear end, conventional under chassis mufflers that go along with this vehicle. Jack mark right here from jack stand being held up through the years, and another one on this side right here on the subframe. Other than that, that's pretty much it. A couple little marks on the front on the subframes from being jacked up or held by jack stands through the years. Drum brakes in the rear, discs in the front, of course we went over that. The shocks aren't new in the rear, but they're not leaking, and they look like they've been replaced with original equipment style shocks through the years. 9-inch Ford heavy duty rear end. This car is equipped with a lot of performance ads because it is an M code car, and we do have a Marty report for it, which Devin definitely will put up with the information on the website. Multi-leaf rear spring suspension on it, and the springs have a nice curvature to them yet. The torque boxes where they mount to the front and attach to the sides of the subframes, the torque boxes are nice and totally distortion free, and no rust or deterioration whatsoever. The pipes coming out again are 2 1/8 inch, going into the oval type, squashed oval type stainless steel exhaust that exit out through your little windows in the rear valance, the way these cars work from the factory. Original gas tank, appears to still have the original lines and everything on it. I think they've spliced them in here somewhere, but that's original back there. and I think they've replaced them through this center section here. Drop downs and the quarter panels are just as they were when they were new. They still have the little windows in them for your drain holes, just the way they would have been from the factory. The gas tank itself is the original gas tank. Little dent here, something through the years kissed it for some reason or another. The pans in the trunk where the floor pan transitions up over the rear differential, totally unobstructed. I don't see any deterioration, any marks, any indication that that has been replaced through the years. So we have a nice undercarriage on this car. A lot of originality. It's a car that has no leaks whatsoever. You can see there's absolutely no oil leaks evident whatsoever. At this point, that doesn't mean 2 years from now or a year from now you're not going to find oil on the floor of the garage. It's a muscle car. It's the same as a Porsche or a Ferrari. Don't ever buy one of them, believe me, if you don't like oil leaks. It's just something that you have to kind of live with. It's not going to be like it's dumping oil out on the ground, but it's not uncommon after a year or after a period of time to find a drip here or there. It's just the way these motors were assembled, the gasket that they used at that point in time. And even if the motor has been refreshened, you know, they usually still go back and use either the cork or the composite gasket that they used at that point. So it still has the originality of the way it was manufactured. It does have the original style hangers for the correct style mufflers on it. I just noticed that. So those are the original hangers. They're not something that's just bolted to the floor. These are the original hangers and brackets that came with this car in 1970. This is a really nice car. It really presents itself well. Cooling lines are still the original ones for the transmission going forward to the radiator. And I don't see anything under this vehicle that would deter anyone from giving it consideration on a purchase. This thing is an absolutely fantastic 70 Mach 1 M code Mustang. 69 and 70s are the cars to have, and we have one. Hangsters, Daytona Beach.